Good morning. I do have a new camera right there. So I actually got a few new things equipment wise. I got a Barlow lens for my keyboard or for my microscope, but unfortunately I ordered the wrong one, so it actually makes it even more zoomed in. At any rate, okay. So I had a customer come in a couple weeks back with a hard drive. It doesn't click or anything like that. It makes a beeping noise like it sees something, and it's not clicking, but it's trying to do something inside the drive that's making a little bit of noise, and it does not read on the computer. So most of these problems, and this is just my experience, most of these problems can be caused by a bad board. So this is another one of the items that we're going to try to fix by replacing this board. I ordered one from China, and we're going to be able to switch boards out, but of course we're going to have to switch over the BIOS chip or the ROM with the configuration on this board. So let's get into it. Okay, first thing we're going to have to do is remove this board, and I want to say that is something like a T4, maybe a T4. Let's see. It's difficult to find out exactly what size it is. You know, I like this toolkit, but it's super hard to see. They engraved in the foam, and it's almost hard to read. All right, this looks like a T4, yep. All right, so we're going to take this off, put that there. These are all the same screws most likely, but I like to at first take them out and put them in order just in case one of them's longer or something. Yeah, those are the same. And one more. All right, so this is strictly for data recovery, so it doesn't have to be anything, you know, as I was once told, this says no piano. So what we're going to do is we're going to need to take out the BIOS chip. It's nice my new camera can see up close like the other one could not. That's what we want to take off. This is the good board. So what I like to, I'm sorry, the bad board. So what I like to do is mark it with something before I even open the new board. Okay, so what I'll do is, with this one here, I'll just put an X across that chip, across that little cover there. This is the bad one. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is answer the phone. Be right back. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the microscope, and this, let me move this, there we go. This is the chip we're taking off. Usually they say wind bond, I find. This is a wind bond chip. So we're going to, might be easier that way, there we go. Alright, wind bond chip. This is the chip that we're going to take out. Now, one thing too, always remember where chip 1 or pin 1 is. And if you notice, pin 1 on this one is over here, but it does not have like a little dot or something, which is interesting. So I am actually going to make it, arrange it in a way where it'll be a lot easier to get with some tweezers, like from the sides here, like that. All right. So first thing we're gonna do, put some flux. Now we are putting this on a new board. Now I should really say that this may not work. Newer boards, in many cases, they have more than just the BIOS chip. There's something, some information in the controller chip, which is, if I'm not mistaken, is this chip right here. So it's not always a done deal. But the last 2 jobs that I sent away to the lab were over $1,000. One was $4,500. So I'm trying to avoid that. And for a $35 cost of this board that I bought, the replacement for this one, 35 bucks, it's worth a shot to attempt to get the board switched out, and hopefully it works. If it doesn't, we're out 35 bucks, no big deal. All right, first thing we're gonna do is get the hot air station, 40% airflow, 400 degrees Celsius, and we're gonna warm this board up a bit. And remember, this chip is the one we want to keep, so we got to be real careful not to mess it up. And if I should mention, if we do have to send this to the lab, we also have to put this back. So it's a good idea to be really careful with this chip. I'm going to put some weight on the back side of this to hold it down. There we go. Alright, so you look for some bubbling of solder and whatnot underneath those 8 pads. And then it will just pop right off. There it goes. Easy. That was a really easy one. Alright. Now, I'm going to take this one out here. What's nice is with my new camera I can switch over. So we're going to take this board, which is the bad board. It's the original board. We'll put that over here. Our new board is this right here. And that goes in the trash. So this one, we're going to take this BIOS chip off here, and we can throw it away if we feel like it. It does not have to be saved, because this is just a one-shot deal. All right, go back over to microscope. There we go. And we're essentially going to do the same exact thing with this chip. And then, because it's just for data recovery, we don't really need to get super like crazy with the prep of the board, because if it works, cool, we get the stuff off and that's that. Okay, now let's take this one off. Actually, also we're going to get the soldering iron ready to go, because we're not putting it back on with hot air. You gotta be real careful about, whoops, you gotta be really careful about things like this chip up, these chips up top. These are capacitors. We don't want to mess it up and end up losing one of those, or one of these down here. I'm always afraid I'm going to mix these up. So this is the one that is the one that we don't need. I'm going to put this aside. And you know, since I have this right here, I will just put this back in play. Not with hot air though, I think. Yeah. I don't want to chance it. Hot air, that thing can blow away. So, and we already got our thin tip on the soldering iron, so that's good. We'll just throw a little bit extra solder on the tip. That. And all we have to do is tack one of these down. We should be good to go to be a little less careful, I should say. All right, that's about right. All right, yeah, you see how that's there? Okay. So now, get it lined up. Actually, it's going to be a pain a little bit, so I'm going to just move it this way a little bit to line it up. And then tack that one down. There we go. It's a little off, so I'm going to push it back just a hair. There we go. All right, stand by for this phone call. Okay, so we're just going to tack down these last ones here. Sometimes, I was watching a video yesterday from another creator, and sometimes these can look like they are good to go, but they are not. So once we're done, we're going to move them all just to be sure that we've got them in place. Because that, I mean, either of these could be moved possibly if we hit them with the tweezers. You know, this one here is good, we know. Look at that, not connected. See it moving? Same with that one. That one's good to go. I think what I'm going to do in this case is just add more solder. It's not going to hurt anything. All right. So, let's put a little more. I'm trying not to do overkill here, but I'm sure those are good to go, actually. I kind of didn't want to put that much on that one. All right, that looks a lot better. And, you know, because I just feel like it, I'm going to put a little bit there, too. And hit this one once again. Yeah, much better. All right, so we'll turn it around. Actually, about like that would be fine. And this is what I was talking about. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be functional. And I believe we're fine on that side. So I'm going to put a little extra flux on here just to make sure that it's flowing correctly. All right, here we go. Yeah, that looks good. And so does that one, I think. It's kind of hard to see with the flux in the way, but something interesting, okay? If you look at these four and look at these four, that's the difference flux makes. That's a good example of how flux can make a big difference. All right, so now I think is going to be time to clean it. Throw a little bit of alcohol in there. And, you know, you don't have to go crazy cleaning it because this is just to get the kind of this sticky residue off. But everything else looks good. Let's just make sure these aren't moving. Nope, good to go. Good to go. Good to go. All of them. Excellent. And of course, we put the pin 1 in the right spot. Okay. So now is the time we go back to put this in place. Really hope it works. That would be nice. Now, again, this is something that absolutely may not work, but it's just another example of how to lose a screw. All right. Interesting. I just lost a screw. Okay, but that's okay because it's it doesn't need to be. We don't have to go crazy with it because we are just getting data off of it. So as long as we get it screwed down. Boy, this is, talk about a pain in the butt. These are tiny screws. All right, here we go. All right. And so the connector is just right here. So I'll put one here and one here. I'm sorry, one here. That holds it down where the motor connector is. We'll distribute our screws where we need them the most. All right. And this one here we'll put up there. So I did get a new camera. It zooms in better. And I'm going to get an overhead camera that will sit above for a top-down shot. Okay, so here's where we find out if this is going to work. It may and it may not. I just don't know. Let's see. Well, there's that noise. But the question is this one of those ones where we can actually see the drive? Because of that controller chip, maybe, maybe not. So let's move to that view. So far, nothing. But when these have been messed with, it can take a little time for it to come online, even after it sees that it's there. And if we go to disk management, see if we see anything there. Well, it sees a drive, not initialized, unknown, all that good stuff. I'm just going to ignore all that, close it out. And we'll give it another minute here. Going to unplug it and try to plug it in again. I can hear it spinning and trying to read it. And again, if it doesn't work, then it's not the end of the world. We're going to just switch that chip back to the dead board and then package it up for the lab. Well, we can't win them all. This was just an idea to show how this sort of thing works. And it is what it is. So, looks like we are going to lose on this one, and we're going to end up going back to the lab for this one and give them a shot at it. Well, appreciate you watching it, and feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks a bunch. Bye.